Nice to meet you.
Hello,
Hey.
my name is Richard. What's
Hi,
your name?
Richard. My name is Jane.
Oh, very nice
Hi.
to meet you.
You too. Can I ask where you're from?
Oh, you can. I
Hmm?
am from Brazil. What about
Oh,
you?
nice. I'm from Japan. I'm living in Japan now.
Oh, that's really nice.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I've noticed that you don't have an Japanese accent.
Well, that's because my mother is American, so I have an American accent.
Oh, that's really cool.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
uh, did you born and
Hmm.
raised in Japan?
Oh, I was born and raised in Japan, yes. So I was
Oh.
born here and I lived here until 21 years old. Oh, 20 years old when I was 20. And I moved to America just for 1 year. I was in Florida. Do you know where Florida is?
Yes, I know. It's
Yeah, so I was there for 1 year and then I came back and I graduated university and I've been working here for about 3 years. And I'm actually going to move again to Taiwan. So I'll be going
mm,
there for probably about 1 year. I'll be teaching on Cambly and probably look for a job over there as well. So
oh,
yeah,
that's really
excited. But yeah.
nice.
Hmm.
Uh, so I've been studying English for
Hmm.
1 year and
Oh,
six
1 year.
months.
Wow. Oh, so one
It's
and a
quite
half
really
years.
nice.
Huh?
Yes, and I
Hmm.
love studying English.
Hmm. That's
I
amazing. Yeah,
think
your English is
yeah,
very good, I think. Yeah, very clear.
yeah, yes, I think English
Hmm.
is very good to learn because
Hmm.
when we learn English, we can travel through
Hmm.
all over the
Hmm.
world. It's
Hmm.
very nice.
Do you enjoy
And
traveling?
yes, I enjoy it, but right now I am
Hmm.
studying in college,
Hmm.
so
Oh,
I
you're
don't
at
have
college. Okay.
yeah, so I don't have
Okay.
much time
Hmm.
and nor money to travel.
Yeah, it's difficult as a student. I understand.
Yes.
That's true.
But
Uh-huh.
God willing, I'll finish my college this
Hmm.
year by
Oh, wow.
December.
So you're almost
This
done. Okay.
this is my
That's
last
great.
year,
Hmm. Do
and
you take English courses at your university, or do you use your own time for learning
no
English?
I go to a specific course.
Hmm. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, but.
Uh-huh.
Uh, In my college, I don't have opportunity to talk in
Hmm.
English,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah,
Oh.
yes. Uh,
Hmm.
so, but I am learning a lot at my English
Hmm.
school and
Hmm.
on Cambly.
Oh, that's amazing.
I decided to
Hmm.
study on Cambly last
Hmm.
month.
Oh,
So
so you just started.
yeah, it's
Oh, that's
been
amazing. Hmm.
very good for
Hmm.
me. I can improve
Well, I'm glad you
my
like it. Uh-huh.
listening and
Uh-huh.
my
Hmm.
pronunciation and
Uh-huh.
so on.
Yeah. I really like I enjoy teaching here as well because you can kind of get on your own time and set your own schedule and then you can meet so many people from just anywhere around the world and I think that's something really cool that you can't do unless you have like a platform like this. So, yeah, I've been teaching for about 3 months right now on Cambly and I've really been enjoying it. So, yeah, I'm glad
Oh,
to hear
that's
you
nice.
liked it too. Yeah. Hmm.
What about Brazilian students? Do you have
I
a
actually
lot
have a
of?
couple. I have a couple regular students. I noticed like because I'm usually on Cambly at this time of day, like in the morning. For you, it's probably before bedtime, right? I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a lot of
it's
people who like to get on at night in Brazil will call me. So yeah, I tend to have a lot of students from Brazil, I think, or like Northern America. But yeah, I noticed a lot are very eager to learn English and but they're not really given the opportunity to use English in their daily lives or they might feel the need to improve their English because they want to improve their, their work or their skills or, just get farther in their career. So, yeah, I noticed a lot of Brazilian people really are eager to learn English. Yeah,
oh,
just like
that's
you.
really nice.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Here in Brazil, it's currently 5 to 11 p.m.
Hmm. Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
What about
Oh,
there? What time is it?
it's a five. It's actually 5 to 11 a.m. here, so exactly 12 hours.
Yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
it,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
it's completely different. It's
Yeah,
very interesting, right?
like the opposite. Yeah, you're yesterday, and it's February 18th here, so the
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
Now, yeah. you said that to me that you lived in the United States, right?
Yes.
Do you prefer to live in Japan or in the United States? What do you like the
I've
most?
only, it's a difficult question to answer because I've only lived there as a student, so I'm not really sure what it would be like if I were to like work there and have my own apartment and like pay for the bills. But
Mhm.
it was a good experience living in the US, definitely. I got to meet people from all over the world and got to have like the American college experience. But I would say when it comes to like making friends, I was a lot more comfortable being with Japanese people because that's just the environment I was used to. And even though I speak English, it was like it was a culture I was kind of unfamiliar with at the time, especially at the beginning. Even though my mother's American, I still wasn't quite exposed to like the American culture and the way people
Mm,
live, I think. So like making
exactly.
friends was a bit difficult, I think, more than I thought it would be. And I think coming back to Japan, there was a lot I realized that I appreciate about Japan, and some things that I was taking for granted that I really thought I should be more thankful for. So I think overall, like living in Japan is more comfortable for me because it's just where I've lived my whole life, and it's
I
very
see.
safe, and I think there isn't much of a gap between like the rich and the poor. Like there is, maybe in Brazil you also have that like a lot
Yeah,
of rich people and some very poor people, but in Japan we don't have
yeah.
that as much, so it's relatively safe. And yeah, I just feel more secure living in Japan, I think. So for now,
But
I enjoy.
oh, that's nice. So in Japan, there aren't difference between the money of the people
Yeah. Well,
because
there are obviously the rich people and there are poor people, and I think the gap is starting to widen a little bit every year, but still it's not as, terrible as it is in America, I think. It's still
mm,
closer. Like we still have a middle class kind of, and I feel like America, the middle class is just sort of disappearing and the rich are becoming more rich and more people are
mm,
in poverty. So yeah,
I see.
I don't feel
Uh,
really secure in that situation, I think. Mhm.
That's really nice. I
Mhm.
am very, very curious about your culture. I love
Oh, really?
I love the United States, and I love Japan.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I'd like to go to Japan one day.
Oh, really? That would be great.
Really.
Yeah.
I know it will be very, very expensive,
Yes, it's very far. I
but
I
but
understand how far it is.
it's
Yeah.
my dream. But it's my
Oh,
dream.
yes,
A
I
lot of
recommend.
yes, I see a lot of things about from your
Mhm.
country, like
Yeah.
animes, like
Uh-huh.
that's
Yeah,
really,
so
really nice.
much. Yeah, the food is really good, and I would recommend April or maybe October, November. Those months are they're kind of the busiest months for tourism, but they're really beautiful because you can see the leaves change during the fall, like October,
Mm,
November. But for April, you have the cherry blossoms, and that's really famous in Japan. So the weather's just right. So I would say if you're gonna look for a month to travel, maybe April or like sometime around October is the best.
oh, that's really nice.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I saw in your
Hmm.
profile that you
Hmm.
speak two languages, right? Portuguese and
Yeah.
Japanese, right?
Portuguese? Oh no, I don't speak
No,
Portuguese.
sorry, sorry. English and Japanese.
Yes, I do. I speak
I
English
speak
and Japanese.
Portuguese. I speak Portuguese and English.
Yeah. Yeah, I speak
uh,
Japanese, yes.
how was that to learn two languages? How was your first language,
Hmm.
English or
Well,
Japanese?
it was with my mother. I spoke English at home, so I think I picked up English at first, even though I was in Japan. But after going to like preschool, elementary school, um, I guess my daily dominant language kind of became Japanese because I was obviously using it more because I was in school most of the day. So
Mm,
up until like high school, I spoke English very well. I could listen to it very well, but reading and like writing, I would say Japanese was a lot better than my English. So I think
mm,
after university, I started working more on like, making presentations in English, writing essays, reading more academic stuff. So my English level kind of, got up to my Japanese level. So I would say now they're
mm,
about, the same, but at the beginning, my English level was a bit lower. than Japanese when it came to like reading and writing. So yeah,
Mm.
that was a bit of a struggle at first, but
What language do you feel more comfortable to speak? Japanese or English?
It depends like where I am. Like for example, I was at home with my parents the other day, like for 4 days, and I was speaking a lot of English with my mother. So if I'm at home with my mom, I'll feel more comfortable in English. But like if I was speaking with my dad or like other Japanese friends, I would, be comfortable in Japanese. So
Mm.
it kind of depends like on the situation and where I'm in. But yeah, it just depends. I would say both. Either is okay.
That's really nice. Would you mind showing me a little bit about your Japanese?
Oh, like speaking it?
Yeah, yes, please.
Oh, okay. はじめまして、エマと申します。奈良県出身で、今は大阪に住んでいます。来月から台湾に1年間住む予定です。よろしくお願いします。
Oh,
That was like
that's
the
nice.
introduction, yeah.
I didn't understand anything, but it's very, very nice. It's very
You
nice.
did.
Yes, I have a lot. I want to learn a lot of language, but
Uh-huh.
it's difficult.
Yeah, but your English is very at a high level, so I think, you can start
Oh,
your
thank
next
you.
language anytime if you want to, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
After
Mhm.
I'll be better in English, I'd
Mhm.
like to learn French or Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes,
I've
I
actually
did.
taken some Spanish classes and they were really interesting in Florida because a lot of people there are from like South America or Central America. So there were a lot of like Spanish speakers in my environment. So I was able to kind of, hear Spanish on a daily basis, but also take classes. So that was a really good experience, I think.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
I like to study a lot. I think
Mhm.
I am improving my English every day
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
every day I like to know, I like to learn a lot of words. I like to
Mhm.
learn more verbs and a lot of things.
Mhm. Mhm.
But sometimes when I am speaking with you, I forget.
Mhm.
I forgot how to use a lot of words.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, they just don't come out at that moment. Yes, that
Yeah,
happens. Even
yes.
with native speakers, it happens. So yeah, I
Uh,
wouldn't worry about it too much. But yeah.
I try to use the
Uh-huh.
words that
Mhm.
I learned, but I
Yeah, that's
forget.
good. That's very important. Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna, memorize them. Hmm.
Yes.
Great.
What about in Japan? What do you like
Mhm.
to do when you have a day off or when you don't have
Ooh,
anything to
okay. So actually, my current situation is I'm kind of in between jobs, I guess, but I'm still on Cambly, but I recently quit my job and my last day was actually a week ago. So I've kind of had a whole week off right now. And so what I've been doing is in the morning I'll be on Cambly, like tutoring English. In the afternoon I'll tend to like maybe clean, cook, do just like household chores and get things together. And at nighttime, I like to relax. So maybe I'll like get on Netflix, watch a Netflix series, or
that's
go out
nice.
to dinner with my friends. Or yeah, I tend to go out to eat a lot. I think, especially now because I'm actually moving next month to Taiwan. So I'm kind of saying goodbye to a lot of friends right now. So yeah, we've been going out to eat. Yeah, I really like discovering new restaurants in the area, like different cuisines, because I like to eat different types of food.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
In Brazil, I like to go out to a lot of places. I like going out to eat. I
Hmm.
love going out to eat.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
very yeah, it's an
yes,
experience.
In Brazil we have a lot of
Hmm.
Japanese restaurants. It's
Hmm.
very, very common here.
Hmm.
And one day, one teacher on Cambly said
Hmm.
to me that Brazil has the second uh, best place to have Japanese foods.
Really, is the
Really,
first Japan or is it somewhere else?
it's the second place.
Second place. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, that makes sense because most like Japanese who like diaspora, I guess, like Japanese people who moved abroad, I think a lot of them are in Brazil. It's either Brazil or Peru or maybe the US, but there isn't much immigration compared like besides those countries, I think. So I guess because there's so many Japanese descendants in Brazil that they just make really good Japanese food, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, in São Paulo, we have
Mhm.
a neighborhood that there are a lot of people from Japan. Uh, and the name is Liberdade. It's in São
Freedom?
Paulo.
Mhm.
Yes, freedom. Yes, yes, there are
Oh,
a lot of
interesting.
Japanese people. That's really nice.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
You
That's
do you
nice.
think that to learn Japanese is hard to Brazilian?
I wonder. I feel like language-wise, like if your first language is Portuguese, it might be a bit difficult because it's completely different. Like the languages are not related to each other at
Yeah.
all. But the environment you have with like a lot of, Japanese Brazilians, and I'm sure you could find like communities where people speak Japanese, or you could find like textbooks or study material maybe at bookshops that may not be available in other countries. I feel like that's definitely a plus. Even though the language might be difficult, you'll have a lot of material and like a good environment to learn the language. So it just depends on, how much you want to learn the language. But yeah, I actually have another student coming in. I have a reservation, so I have to say goodbye
Okay.
right now. But it was really nice talking to you, and hopefully I'll
Yes,
see you again.
it was very
Mhm.
nice. I love to talk to you. I'd like to talk to you again another
Mhm.
time,
Yeah,
okay?
I'll send you my schedule when I have more time. But for now, I
Okay,
have
I
to say
do.
goodbye.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
Have a nice
night. Thank
day.
you.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye.